हरि ओम। ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। हरि ओम। We are trying to study Brahma Sutra, first adhikarana called Samanvaya Adhikarana, which comprises of 4 sutra. अथातो ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा जन्माद्यस्य यतः शास्त्रयोनित्वात्. And while discussing before discussing the 4th sutra of the Samanvaya Adhikarana, which is Tattu Samanvayat, we have come across a situation where the Purva Mimamsak, the closest ally of Vedanta, or the closest enemy of Vedanta, whichever way you look at it. Darshanas are logical progression of philosophy culminating in Vedanta. Purva Mimamsa being right next or just prior to Advaita, it is very close to Advaita Vedanta, however, differing from Vedanta in certain fundamental aspects. Purva Mimamsa relies, like all other darshanas, entirely on the Veda, and supposes that the entire Veda speaks about karma and karma and karma only. Since Veda speaks only of karma, the way to get moksha is through karma only. There is no third entity called jnana that is required. Vedanta opposes this view, saying that karma and karmabhyas will never lead to moksha. Only jnana can lead to moksha. Before understanding what Acharya and Vyasa Maharshi or Badarayana Maharshi speaks about the Jnana as the only means of achieving salvation or mumukshata. It is important to know and have a clear understanding as to what is karma siddhanta of Hindu philosophy. It may appear to be a slight digression from the subject of Brahma Sutra, because in Brahma Sutra Abhyasa it is presupposed that all the Pancha Darshanas have been studied to the depth. While discussing Karma Siddhanta in the last session, there were some confusions about what is Nitya Naimittika Karma, Kamya Karma, and Nishiddha Karma. So to understand the Karma and Karma Siddhanta plethora in toto, also to understand the Karma Yoga which is stated emphatically in Bhagavad Gita, one must have an absolute clarity about what Karma Siddhanta is, or Karma Vipaka Siddhanta is, which is one of the classical features of Hindu philosophy, which we do not see in any other philosophy whatsoever. In fact, karma, commonly referred in English as karma, has become the most popular non-English word in philosophy. What is important for us to know that the karma originates because of antakarana or chitta. The fundamentals have to be very clear. If you do not have chitta or antakarana, there is no chance of you committing any karma. In other words, karma is the final manifestation of something that happens in the chitta or antakarana. Between the chitta as a source, karana, karma as the karya or the destination, there are things in between which are called as indriyas, karmindriyas and jnanindriyas. We are not concerned with that because those are the modes or the instruments of performing the karma. Where does the karma originate? It originates in antakarana or chitta. So in other words, karma is not possible without chitta or antakarana. Why the karma originates in chitta or antakarana? Because chitta is available. Antakarana is available. Who are the one to whom the chitta or antakarana is available? All the upadhis, jivas, born people, constituent of the cosmos, srushti ghataka, they will have antakarana. What is so special about antakarana? Antakarana is the only organ which, although insentient or jada, has the maximum ability to utilize the consciousness. The finger also has consciousness, but it has consciousness, it cannot utilize consciousness. The sunlight falls on the wall and the wall is visible. So the sunlight has affected the wall also. That is why we are able to see the wall, but wall doesn't reflect the sunlight. In comparison, mirror receives the sunlight, so we see the mirror, but it also reflects the sunlight, so that in its reflection we can see something else. In the reflection of the wall, we cannot see anything. So Antakarana or Chitta is the organ endowed to a jiva which has a specific capability of reflecting the consciousness. Thereby, whatever reflected light is there, that gives rise to some knowledge, cognition. In the reflected sunlight of the mirror, you can see some other thing. Seeing other thing, when mind or the antakarana reflects the consciousness and makes us possible to understand the things that are happening around, is called knowledge or laukika jnana. Because every time the antakaran reflects the consciousness on a subject, it leads to an experience. An experience is called loka. Experiential knowledge is called laukika jnana, and that is how antakaran has this speciality. The reason for that is it is made up of sattva guna. That is why it has ability to reflect the consciousness and make us aware of the focus of reflected consciousness, the medium through which this consciousness is reflected is called indriya. And because we come to know, because we are knowledgeable about a thing, because a cognition has happened, we work on that cognition. Working on that cognition is kriya. Having a cognition, the previous purvardha, previous part, working on that cognition by appropriating the cognition as I know a thing. There is a fruit lying on the table. The reflected consciousness of my antakarana with the help of the eyes as an indriya gives rise to the cognition of the fruit lying on the table. Purvardha. Because a fruit has been seen by me, appropriation of cognition, asmita tattva. Now I feel like grabbing the fruit and eating it. To eat, I use my hand. So Jnanendriya is the predominant entity to convey the reflected consciousness in Purvardha, while working on the cognition or the knowledge or the laukika jnana is done through the karmendriya called hand. The whole thing then constitutes a kriya, which is commonly referred as karma. Now, none of these can in isolation be a karma. Only the mind is cognizing the fruit. This is not karma. Because mind has, antakaran has seen the fruit. But who has seen the fruit? I saw the fruit. Appropriation of cognition. Karta has to be embedded in the experience. Otherwise, experience is an experience. Right now, Colorado River or Mississippi River is flowing there, but we are not there to see it. So the things are there. It is visible also if you go there. But since I am not there, there is no appropriation. So that means there has to be a kartrupada, kartrutvata, and it has to have some action involved. And then based on that action, there is a reaction or a response. Whether it is a reaction or a response depends on person to person. So there is a table. When a lady is boiling milk and trying to watch that it should not overflow, many times she is watching at the milk and it overflows. What happened? The indriyas were watching it. Mind was also involved in it, but appropriation that I am watching was not there, so it just overflew. It was not noted at all. The incidents happened appropriating entity was not there. The ahankara, asmita was not there. So for a karma to happen, these constituents are a must. Once this is known to us, then every time an indriya is utilized for the sake of reflected consciousness to appropriate anything outside through an appropriating entity called individual, a karma happens. Now the question is, when the karma is happening, we need to know very clearly that prarabdha gives rise to karma phala bhoga. There is an urgent need for the sadhaka to distinguish between karma phala upabhoga and nutana karma udbhava. We have to separate between the two things. I was standing near my door with nice clothes, about to attend the meeting, and I stepped outside of the home and a bird spilled his waste matter on my shirt. What happened? An action has happened. I had no intention. I did not call the bird to come and do some waste matter, throw some waste matter on my shirt, but it did happen. Now this is karma phala bhoga. The circle is complete here. There was an incident where we had spoiled somebody's nice attire in our past birth, especially when somebody was attending an important function. As a phalam of that particular act, my neatly starched and ironed white shirt got spoiled by the spillage of the bird. Karma was done, phalam is done, karma phala bhoga, circle is complete. That brings us to the question that every birth is nothing else but a compendium of three things together. Sati mule tad vipako jati ayu bhogaha. Patanjali Maharaj. Sati mule. Sati means because of that what? Klesha mule. Because of the kleshas, we are born. Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, iti pancha kleshaha. Because of kleshas, we are born. When we are born with a compendium with three things. It is called Trivipaka. You have a jati, ayu, and bhoga. Which species you will be born? Lion, tiger, human being, cockroach, spider, Tiryak yoni, Ucha yoni, Brahman, Kshatriya, this, that, whatever is decided. Also, how long you will live? Ayuhu. And in this period of Ayuhu, what kind of bhoga you will have is also decided. How does this get decided? Patanjali Maharaj tells us that in one janma, whatever karma we do is all collected into a file, and the file is kept there. Where? In the Sanchita. So there are many files we have because we had many births, umpteen number of births, umpteen number of files. Of these files, the Vidhata, Ganesh Ji Maharaj, takes out one file appropriate for bhoga, paripakva for bhoga. The moment the file is taken out from there, it goes out of Sanchita and it is given a special label called Prarabdha. Prakarshena arabdhate iti prarabdha. That means the bell has rung, the round has begun, a new life has begun. For this life of this jiva, this will be the file for him, which is bound by jati ayu bhogaha. So the whole package is given to that jiva, and the jiva is born. Jati. Now he has a span of 10 years, 5 years, depending upon if it's a dog, about 10, 15 years. If it is a firefly, 1 day. If it is a human being, maybe 70, 80, 90 days. Depending upon that, the file has a detailed description of what the bhogas will be during this birth. This file that came out as prarabdha has come from Sanchita. So something that I did many births back, of that one life's book is now reproduced in terms of bhoga now. So currently I am born in Maharashtra with a name called Dr. Jadhav, etc., etc. He will become a doctor, then he will leave medication, then he will get into this, then he will do such. All this is all a part of prarabdha prakarshena arabdhate. So this is called my jati, ayu and bhoga. So I am basically to do the bhoga or the upabhoga of whatever has been destined for me according to the prarabdha during the current birth. So far there is no karma. I am still into bhoga. So then what happened? I went to in 12th standard, I got very good marks. I went into medical college. The situation is, because of my punya karma, there was a merit that I could get and get into medicine. This was as per what? As per the punya karma done in XYZ number birth. I don't know. However, getting into medical college was part of my bhoga. While into medical college, I wanted to be in top 3. I could not. That was also part of bhoga. So where is the karma then? The karma comes into the picture as a reaction or a response to the bhoga. I became a woman instead of a man. Who decided? My karma decided. My past karma decided it. As a bhoga, I became a lady. I became a man. Now I have become a woman. Naturally, there will be some amount of gender discrimination, which is part of the societal culture. I will be subjected to that. Now I will start cursing my womanhood. Just because I am a lady, I am doing this is because of that, and everybody subjects us to the torture. And being a woman, there is absolutely no. I wish I couldn't have had this birth. What is happening? Reacting or responding to the bhoga. What will happen to you as a part of your past karma as a bhoga is not in your hands. It is prarabdhadhina, not yadruchadhina. However, the niyativad ends here. The compulsive subjectment to the sufferings or the enjoyments end here. Right at this point, the Kriyamana Swatantra starts. Manish ji becomes a chartered accountant, prarabdha vashat. But that is where it ends. Now the Kriyamana Swatantra starts. Kriyamana Swatantra is reacting or responding to the situation that you are in. The situation that you are in is prarabdha, paristhiti. Your response and reaction to the paristhiti, Kriyaman Swatantra. It is the Kriyamana Swatantra that leads to karma, not the bhoga. I have the wonderful vastu to stay inside. There's a nice townhouse or a villa I am staying in. Prarabdha vashat. Response or reaction to this? I wish I could have another 2 townhouses like this. One will give me rent, second will be protection against the future. Kriyaman Swatantra Karma. Once the karma starts, then this karma has to have a phalam. The file making starts. The first page of the file immediately starts writing that gentleman Dr. Jadhav is expecting to have a lot of wealth for him. Number one. Number two, he thinks he's too intelligent and he would like to influence as much as possible by his vidvatta so that he can feel and bask in the glory. Number two, desire pull karma. All kamya karma. Kamya, desire. What is desire? Reaction or response to existing situation in order to mend it is desire. Don't mend it. There is no desire. So Karam Maharaj, stalwart saintly person, says, Jaishi sthiti ahe, taisha parirahe, kautuk tupahe sanchita che. He says, stay the way you are and be happy and curious about how Sanchita operates. That is why a saintly person, when he's bitten by somebody, says Hari Ichha. Or he is given an extreme important post and everybody praises him, he says Hari Ichha. Our Gurudev, somebody went and told him, Gurudev, you spoke very well today. Gurudev said, yes, I think I spoke very well today. Because that I who spoke was not me. He knew about it. Response or reaction to the existing situation is the nidus or the beginning of the new karma being exhibited under the freedom called Kriyamana Swatantra. And the tendency to react or respond will depend upon how you have reacted and responded over the period of time in multiple births. So suddenly you cannot say that, it's okay. Poverty, no problem. Richness, no problem. Cold water in the winter morning for the bath, no problem. It will not happen. Preet Purani Karanere Chuga Chuga Kankad Khai. Because of the past impressions. Now, impression is samskara, which is experience. Repetitive samskaras are called vasanas. Repetitive vasanas are called character. And it is the character. Swami Vivekananda's favorite point to stress was be of a good character. Brahmacharya is a good character. Brahmacharya skalana vasana. All these vasanas, as is described by Vijnana Bhikshu Maharaj in his treatise, They are like a fish net of a fisherman. Entangled and huge expanse. Similarly, vasanas are like threads of that fisherman's net spread over multiple births, of which only one karmashaya or the file is taken to give the birth. In that birth, again, depending upon the bhoga, while the bhoga is happening, new karmas are created by response reaction through kriyamana swatantra. And these karmas are happening because of what? Klesha, sati mule. Sati mule tad vipako. That means klesha mule. What are the kleshas? Avidya, asmita, raga dvesha, abhinivesha. But what is klesha? Klesha is called mithya jnana or viparyaya. I am sure everybody of us still remember the Patanjali Yoga Shastra that we studied. Vrittaya panchatayaha klishta aklishta. The change in the serene and pristine calmness on the chitta is disturbed by the waves of vritti or vichara, which are of two types, klishta, aklishta. Klishta, that puts you down. Aklishta, that takes you upwards towards kalyana. And what are those vrittis? Pramana, viparyaya, nidra, smruti, and vikalpa. Antakaran can be only in 5 modes. There is no 6th mode, only 5 modes. Pramana, viparyaya, vikalpa, nidra, and smruti. When you are sleeping, nidra, deep sleep, are you doing any karma? No karma. So no new karmas are produced in sleep. Pramana. Pramana is Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Agama, Shabda Pramana. Right now we are studying Brahma Sutra or Karma Siddhanta or whatever. While studying this, any karma is happening? Think about it. If you are taking truly Ramanama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, what karma is happening? No karma is happening. At the max, you are doing a karma of remembering the Rama. But that karma is more of Chitta Shuddhi karma. So its phalam will be, you will further feel purified. But those who are neither in Nidra nor in Smruti, remembering the past. Let us say when I was small, I used to go to that school. This doesn't lead to any karma. But when I was small, I used to go to school. I wish I could get back again the same enjoy. Response or reaction? Now from Smruti, you came back again into Viparyaya. So Nidra, Smruti, Pramana and Vikalpa. How would the hair of a rabbit or a hair, the horn of a hare look like? Something which is not expected to exist but can be described in words. For example, a barren woman had a son. A barren woman cannot have son. But I made a statement. I can make a statement. Barren woman had a son and think about it. This is called Vikalpa. Non-existing thing, you brood upon it. No karma happens. Yawning, belching, no karma happens. Karma happens only in viparyaya or mithya jnana. And this mithya jnana or viparyaya or the one of the vritti of the 5 vrittis is a klesha. So 5 kleshas, avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha are nothing else but mithya jnana. What mithya jnana? First is this world is existing, avidya. And that is the prasava bhumi. She is the mother of all other 4 kleshas. First, the child is thinks that there is a ghost, avidya. Then he starts crying. What if the ghost comes and tries to beat me and take my chocolate away? Dukha. And the mother came and told that there is no ghost. So the child felt happy that the ghost is not there. Sukha. Raga dvesha. And then the child is happy that now the ghost is not going to take me away. I am going to be alive. Abhinivesha. So raga, dvesha, abhinivesha and I-ness, asmita are the children born out of avidya. And avidya itself is false belief, adhyas. We have seen adhyas, adhyay. False belief in the truth of this world. That which is not existing is thought to be existing, and not only existing, but from that existence arises lots of superimpositions of which I'm scared. These are the ones which give rise to karma, because if I know that the world is unreal, I will not do anything. Why would I do a karma? Why? Because bhog is happening. To whom? To the constituent of this universe. I'm not in the universe only, no? Because universe is not existing. Saintly people, Gurudev was right here in this world. But he had drudha bodha that 5-6 feet tall body, etc., is not Chinmayananda. Chinmayananda is something different. That body is sitting there and talking something on Gita, and there are some people coming in. All fine. That was a Samvadi Brahma. These karmas, then, by now it should be clear to us that antakarana vritti, which is employed as a bhog, when starts reacting or responding to the bhog, then karma begins. Now, does that mean that if I am born, I should just keep quiet, and whatever befalls my way as bhoga, I just take that bhoga and be happy that I have not done any new karma, so I am out of a new karma for this birth. So every birth I will be sitting just like a dead person, jada, no karma. Not so. There are 2 things expected. A person who has got himself into a thick mud, he should not think that, okay, I should just keep quiet so that further I will not go into the mud. But what about the fact that you're already in the mud? Dandraya manaha, Kathopanishada, Shankaracharya very nicely has described birth and samsara as a person who is stuck into a deep, thick mud at the center of a vast expanse of mud. Or a person who has dirtied soiled his clothes is now saying that, okay, I will not soil it anymore. Agreed. What about that which is already soiled? One. Second, you are habituated to soiling your clothes. How will you stop it? Simply by saying, even today, all of us can stand while doing the the prayer or anything, we say, I shall, from me, I to the all around the world, my love will be expanding all on my brother, sister. What is happening? Nothing is happening. I will not do any further karma. That way it doesn't happen. You may say so. Even Arjuna said it. I am not going to fight the war. I have a reason for it. Krishna Bhagavan said that it is not a question of you saying or not saying. Your blood will force you to do that. Swami Vivekananda said to Ramakrishna Paramohans, I am not going to teach anything. I just want to be in the Himalayas and just be in meditation. So Ramakrishna Paramahansa said, your bones will teach to the world because you are a born teacher. Your inherent tendencies of the character shall force you. So both aspects are there. By not doing further karma, you are not going to escape. At the same time, your past karmas are going to force you to do certain karmas. So that becomes a completely unbreakable circle. How? If I want to get out of this, my past tendencies, they come in between. If I stop doing anything, then I am not going to get out of the present state that I'm in. That is the background with which last time we discussed about the types of karma. First thing first, I am born where? I am born as a human being. Let us say I am born as a tree. Can I say that I will not flower or I will not give fruits? Yes. Tree will not give milk. Why? As a part of the cosmos, the functionality given to each and every constituent is in such a manner that everybody's functionality together makes this as a vibrant world to live in. That is why what does our prayer say? Sarve santu niramayaha. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Sukhina, sukha means what? Be where they are expected to be in the manner they are expected to be. Jnanadeva Maharaj, after finishing Jnaneshwari, has written the last part, the prayer, Pasaya Dan. Jo je vanchil tote laho. Lord, let everybody blossom at their own place, because that is the structure of the creation. So the tree has been given a function to flower, a river has a given function to flow and satiate the desire of thirst for the mankind. Water is there, so our thirst is satiated. So we respect the river and do the puja of the river and do not make her dirty. Although right now we are doing, every river is made dirty by us. Meaning what? Interdependent constituents of the cosmos, for the sake of smooth functioning of the vibrant cosmos, certain duties are allocated to each one of us, of which the duties that are allocated to us are told by a scripture called Veda. So that is why Veda Vihita Karma is only to be done. So now comes the question, now comes the answer to the dilemma. Should I be doing next karma or not? Also, how do I get out of my tendency of doing wrong or right or particular type of karma? How do I break the cycle? The breaking of the cycle is told by none else than the Veda, which says that while utilizing your Kriyamana Swatantriya, in other words, while reacting and responding to the bhoga that has been given to you because of your own prarabdha, and it is own prarabdha. Bhagavan has got nothing to do with it. A king is dispensing the justice. The murder is done by the citizen, so he is punishing the citizen. He hasn't done the murder. He hasn't told the citizen to do the murder. So because of my prarabdha, having phala bhoga, how do I react and respond is given in the Veda. So if I follow them, then it becomes vihita karma. If I don't follow it, it becomes a nishiddha karma. Moment I do nishiddha karma, I am again into the same cycle. New karma, new phala bhoga, new karma, new phala bhoga, new karma, new phala bhoga, and the cycle keeps on continuing. Such a cycle continuing in circle is called samsara. Samsarati iti samsara. To break this cycle, if somebody decides to follow the Veda, then it is called Veda Vihita Karma. In Veda Vihita Karma, I am supposed to do essential or Nitya Karmas. Nitya Karma is nothing else but my karma destined for me as per Vedas for the sake of cosmic functionality. I have an ability to help the sustenance of another human being who is in need. Now, this is my Nru Yajna, Nara Yajna. This is a must for me. Bhuta Yajna, the birds and the animals that are staying around me, along with me, they do not have so much of means to their survival, but I do have, and I have an ability to give it to them. So I ought to give them. These are called Pancha Bhuta Yajnas. I am alive here. I have come because my indriyas are working. Indriyas are nothing else but Deva. So I must thank them. This whole machine is working. That is why I'm able to function. The one who gave functionality to this whole machine, Deva, I must every day. That is what is a part of Nitya Karma. Deva. And who told me how to behave and how to listen to the Vedas? Vedas are the one who told me this. The Rishis told me this. So every day I have to thank them because of them, today Brahma Sutra we are studying. Because of whom? Because of Badarayana Maharaj, because of Shankaracharya Maharaj. We have to pay respect to them by pure-hearted remembrance every day. So Deva Yajna, Rushi Yajna, Pitru Yajna, they gave birth to us. My physical body, I owe it to my mother and father. The animals around me, Bhuta Yajna, and my own colleagues, and Ru Yajna, these Pancha Yajnas again are a part of my Nitya Karmas. These are not meant for my own gratification. These are my obligatory duties towards the cosmic, vibrating, cosmic arrangement. If I fail to do it, I am disturbing the cosmos, and for which I will be kicked by the cosmos. The kicking is called punishment. Punishment is called sin. That is why if I don't do, there will be a sin. If I do, it was a kartavya. Is breathing a punya? No. But if I don't breathe, I will die. Nitya karma is like this. Similarly, naimittika karma. Again, certain constituents of the universe at a specified time require everyone to contribute or participate in certain acts. Those are naimittik karmas. Grahana or shraddha, my departed close ones, I am not able to see it or visualize it, so I cannot say, I don't know where they are. My father passed away, I don't know where he is. No, you can't say that. It is going to come in Brahma Sutra. As we go towards the middle part of the Brahma Sutra, everything is going to come. How the soul travels, where does it travel, how does it go, how does it come back, how it gets embedded into the water, from water, how does it go into the soil, from soil, how it comes into the grains, from grains, how does it go into the stomach, from there it goes to semen, from there, it being a jada, there is a proper way of migration of all this. If this migration is presupposed, then my inability to have communication with the departed souls doesn't mean that they are not in need of communication. My way of showing my gratitude and communicating with the departed soul is through the vichar or the vritti, which I employ as a part of shraddha. And this is a naimittika karma because I don't do it every day. These two are essentially, nitya and naimittika are meant for balancing the cosmos, and it is given a duty. In the company, the accountant is supposed to keep the accounts, the marketing person is supposed to do the marketing, the HR person is supposed to recruit the people. These are their destined works. Only then the organization vibrates the way it is supposed to function. But accountant cannot come and say that, look, I'm doing accountancy. You are supposed to do accountancy, nothing great about it. So nitya karma, naimittik karma are the part. Japa or Ishwar Nama Ucharana is a part of nitya karma. Vedo nitya adhiyatam, Acharya tells us. Why? Because that is the way you create and make the communication and keep it intact with the Almighty. Forget about you and me. Even a Jivan Mukta, again and again, there is an entity called Adhikari called Mandabodha. Mandabodha is one who has gone beyond Chitta Shuddhi, but still he requires to create the communication with the Lord. So he keeps on doing Nitya Vedadhyayana. These two karmas we will have to do. Other than these, immediately a question comes, what about my duty as a husband? I have to look after my family and etc. Yes, sir, they are part of your bhoga. You will have to do that. But how do you do that? You do it absolute neutrally. Go to school, have degree, apply for a job, get a job, do the job sincerely, get the money legitimately that comes to you, bring it home. Within that money only, look after your children, see that they get the best education. Bhoga, when accepted in its entirety with sincere heart, it becomes duty, kartavya. What is the bhoga of Arjuna? Kshatriya, prince. Bhoga. By bhoga, prarabdha bhoga, he became prince. Now, as a bhoga of prince, princely duties are also bhoga. So you have to, Kshatriya means Kshatra Dharma. So no Kshati should happen. But Duryodhana did this and he took that 5 said this land and this is, yes, Kshatriya, as per the bhoga, the functioning is decided. So he has to go fight the war, win the war for the Pandavas, but that's it. After that, look at, there is no warrior like me, Arjuna the Great, nothing. This is reaction and response to the bhoga. The fine line between action induced by prarabdha bhoga and involvement of I into it is a very thin line. So what a karma yoga means what? What a karma yogi does? A karma yogi knows how to execute himself in the bhoga yoni and use that as a tyaga yoni. Because of bhoga in prarabdha, we get a lot of money. Sometimes it comes, the money comes. But sometimes the cold air also, the breeze comes. We feel good about the cold breeze. That's it. You feel good about it. Why will not you feel? You got a baby boy. Why will not you feel good? Good. That's it. But there is a light, immediate line there. Nobody has a baby like my baby boy. I want my baby boy to go to Harvard. Reaction and response to the situation is going wrong, creating new karmas. That means there will be another phalam because there will be another birth where you will be having another child. That child has to go to Harvard. The succession continued. New creation came in. So nitya naimittik karmas are to be done. Nishiddha karmas are all to be completely avoided, because Nishiddha karma means definitely writing the file faster for future births. One page is enough to give multiple births in Nishiddha karma. Cheating somebody, defrauding somebody, murdering somebody, that means you have written a very thick file for yourself. So Nishiddha karma is out. In Vihita karma, Nitya Naimittik are to be performed as neutrally as possible. Kamya karma, there are two aspects to it. If you are what is called as Manda Adhikari, Manda Jidnyasu, they call it. Manda Jidnyasu. We know 4 types of Chaturvidam Bhajte Mam. Artha, Artharthi are not considered as Adhikari at all. Jidnyasu Jnani are the Adhikari. In Jidnyasu, there is a Manda Jidnyasu and a Tivra Jidnyasu. It is the Manda Jidnyasu who is more attached to the material world. He is the Adhikari of karma, Shubha karma, so that he becomes a Shravana Adhikari as Tivra Jidnyasu. So Manda Jidnyasu, not Artha and Artharthi. Manda Jidnyasu should not do Nishiddha karma at all. Manda Jidnyasu should be doing Sakama Shubha karma. Now this is Kamya karma. But Sakama, because it's Kamya karma, Shubha karma. What is Sakama Shubha karma? Giving danam, doing puja archa, so that Bhagavanta, you keep me in good health, keep me, give me this, give me that, give me the Bhagavan, let me be having knowledge, sadbuddhi, etc. What is happening? Kamya, but Shubha karma. Ashubha karma, that will go towards Nishiddha. That is out of discussion. Once we are done with Sakama Shubha karma, then automatically from Kamya karma you move away. And the one who is moved away from Kamya karma and is doing only Nitya Naimittik karma and Prayashchit, if at all, Prayashchit, if it is known Prayashchit, Gandhiji used to slap himself if somebody else is to commit a mistake, thinking that I could not explain him properly. Prayashchitta. A person who is doing pravachan or a discourse or satsang suddenly feels that, I have got a lot of knowledge. Kya baat hai? I am completely mesmerizing the audience. Papam. This is papam. Now, prayashchitta for this is some prayashchit has to be taken. So the prayashchit is admitting it. Sorry, I don't know. If you really don't know, it is better to say, I don't know. And perhaps get insulted for not knowing it. Doesn't matter. Prayashchita. So this is called asadharana prayashchita. But we don't know what nishiddha karma we have done in the past. For all those nishiddha karmas of past births, the only prayashchit is harinama ucharana. Keep doing japa of not, keep remembering Gurudeva. Out of the 24 hours, either through the books or through the communication, even technology can be used for that through WhatsApp. But through WhatsApp, what? Bhagavanta Nama Ucharana. So prayashchita karma, nitya karma, naimittika karma, sakama shubha karma, that is how you begin. Then where is the role for jnanam? If this is what the background of karma is, we have devoted one session for the karma, just to understand why Purva Mimamsa says that only karma is enough. And then we are going to see in the fourth sutra, Tattu Samanvayat, why jnana is required. Only karma cannot help. You may be doing the best possible nitya naimittik karma. No, you are not at all falling in it. You are not doing any sakama karma. Still the mukti is not there. Even after doing this. Why so? While the karma yogis or while the Purva Mimamsa says that's enough. There's no need for jnana. Only do what I said. Nitya naimittik to be done, kamya to be avoided, prayashchit to be taken, you're done. Because there are no new karmas formed, no new phalams, mukti, moksha. Advaita Vedanta says, no sir, sorry, that cannot happen. Even if you do all this, it will not happen. Why karma, why Purva Mimamsa says like that, and why Advaita is opposing it, is the subject of our discussion in the next session, which is the prelude and also the part of the fourth sutra, the most important sutra, where that decides the goal of the Brahma Sutra, called Tattu Samanvayat. Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Sanjay ji, I'm here. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say that when a fisherman casts his net, some clever fish are hiding themselves in the mud, escaping the net. Similarly, some jnanis are hiding from the karmas and avoid this karma, papa, whatever it is, and attain moksha. So what do you comment on that?
A jnani has gone so much beyond the ability to get caught into the net that he stays right on the fish net but never gets caught into it. A badhit anuvrutti. And live example is Gurudeva. Gurudeva enjoyed food. While enjoying the food, he had, in no uncertain terms, a certainty inside his mind that it is all Maya. being a part of the Maya, and yet simultaneously having the backdrop of being out of the Maya is the strangest combination the Jnani has. That is why a Jnani never retires a chitta. The gunas are into laya form into the chitta. The chitta annihilation, if it is there, then he won't be able to stay in this world, because without chitta you cannot stay in the world. So the antakarana of a jnani is still there. The antakarana acts in the same manner as we and you and me. It acts. Only thing is, he is sure that the whole thing, both antakarana and its vritti, are false. And the analogy for this is, the father is participating in the game played by the children. For the children, the game is real. The loss is real. The gain is real. And the game itself is real. For the father, neither the gain is real nor the loss is real. Even the game is not real, yet he plays because of his affinity to the children. Jnani is in that form. So for the Jnani to do karma, that is why even Jnani as a Jivan Mukta has a prarabdha and bhoga. It could be a prarabdha of Uttama bhoga like Janaka Raja, or it could be an absolutely impoverished prarabdha bhoga like Shukavama Deva. In either case, neither Janaka was affected nor Shukavama Deva was affected, because they know both the Sukham and Dukkham to be nothing else but the waves. When the ocean itself of the Maya has been ascertained as false, Sukha Dukkha waves are automatically turned as false. So yes, there is a pain, but the pain doesn't affect. Gurudeva had a nail in his thigh when he was delivering a sermon, and it was bleeding. Kabir Maharaj had a bleeding from his calf because a dog had bitten him. But for both of them, it was something happening to the body, not to Chinmayananda or not to Kabir Maharaj. That is the state of Jnanis. Hari Om.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. And Purvamimamsa people, actually, Jnana is behind every karma. I think there is an element of Jnana hiding, isn't it? You cannot just do blindly karmas. Behind every karma, there should be an element of Jnana, isn't it?
Behind every karma, there is definitely, not only behind every karma, behind everything in this world, there is jnana. But that jnana is the reflected consciousness, which is called vritti jnana. And the real jnana is avritti jnana. Vritti shunyata jnana is the real jnana. Vritti jnana is the modified consciousness. Only when, what is jnana for the karma? Jnana for the karma is because of the arousal of vritti. And what is vritti? Vritti is reflected abhasa yukta chaitanya. So it is just a reflected knowledge or reflected consciousness. A mirror is also giving a light, but it is a reflected light. It is not a sunlight. Sunlight is a jnana, and mirror reflected light is abhasa jnana or the vritti jnana, which is there behind every karma. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sanjay ji, just a little clarification, this comes across, despite studying with the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and we understand. See, when you were taking this example of, let's say, you became an went to medical college, right? So you explained that, that the fact that you had to become a doctor or whatever was prarabdha, right? But let's go one step before that. Is that the fact that you took action, or you was also a reaction, or could be interpreted as a reaction or a response to maybe your parents saying that, you should become a doctor, or so where, because in hindsight, we can justify any action. The fact that he, was Ratnakar was a dacoit was his prarabdha. The fact that he overturned and, got and became somebody else. Now, is that choice, or is that also prarabdha? The distinction theoretically is much easier to understand, but when we see it in playing out in life, where is the choice? Because we say that, we know that, but when you look at instances that happen in life, sometimes it becomes a little, I don't know if I'm being able to express myself, but I just feel that there's a bit of a, to justify, we can, explain a story, but how does one know for sure what is the distinction?
Yes, it's absolutely wonderful question, and it's a very a kind of a plaguing question. It affects many of us, but the answer for that is very clear. What is the line dividing between prarabdha and kriyamana? That is the question. What can be termed as my kriyaman? For example, if I ate an apple, you would say that, oh, apple was in my prarabdha. Or you can say that, no, I actually acted to eat the apple. How do you interpret this? The interpretation is like this. The very fact that you and apple are together. Because if you are born into Alaska, perhaps you will not get apple. That means the presence of a particular circumstance that you are in is definitely not your creation. For example, you are born into a particular city to a particular parent. Now you cannot say that this is because of me. So circumstances or paristhiti that you are in is prarabdha. In that paristhiti, for example, I took science after 10th standard, and science paved the way for medical. And I started studying physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics, or whatever, because there was a score of 92% as a cutoff line. Now the question is, when I was doing all that, I was in a place where there was a medical college. There was a study called medicine. There was a standard called 12th standard. There were 4 subjects. These are all circumstances. Because in 17th century, there is no medical college. So presence of situational things around you are a part of prarabdha bhoga. Now the question is, how do I exploit the given resources is kriyaman swatantra. Exploiting the resources, but availability of resources is not your concern. You cannot do anything about it. For example, I am so dull-witted, I can't understand Upanishad. Now tell me, what is your kriyaman swatantra going to do? It is because you do not have the required resource that you require. And from where the resources are coming? They're coming from the past karma only. So the line that is dividing between you acting upon it and you have something to act upon. Something to act upon is prarabdha. Acting upon it is kriyaman swatantra. So that is why it is told to us that do the best that you can and leave the phalam. Now do you understand why there is phalatyaga, why it is told? Phalatyaga is told to you because kriyaman plus existing prarabdha bhog, that combination is what you will be working on. The base is prarabdha. Work on the top of it is your kriyaman, and both together leading to whatever is none of your business. In other words, what you brought with you is not in your hand. You can take it forward, but where will it go? That is not in your hand. Because Gurudev keeps telling us that bhavishya or phalam is not in our hand, then why fetter with anxiety for the results? If you have sown the seed correctly, by rule the harvest is supposed to come, but it may not come. And in any case, you cannot do anything about it. That's why millions study for, let's say, entrance to UPSC or medical college. Only few or Harvard, few go in. So what is in your hand? To do the Kriyamana Swatantra, utilize it to the best of its ability. The only precaution that you should take while using Kriyamana Swatantra or your action is, it should not lead to another karma cycle. That's it. So that is how it has been clarified. Hari.
Sanjay ji, then Sanjay ji, then our accumulated vasanas have got us clear, accumulated vasanas have a role in driving us to such a situation where we take birth to complete that vasana. So there is an element of doubt there.
There is no element of the vasanas will propel you to do certain things because of their pressure. But supposing you are a bad driver, every time you start driving, you are driving more towards the right side. Why this is happening? Because you have been habituated to driving in a wrong manner towards the right side. Now, what do? Then somebody tells you, please don't do that, you will meet with an accident. So what you do, every time you try to remember and take it on the left side, take it on the left side, take it on the left side. And then what happens? Left side becomes dominant and the accident is avoided. So vasanas will tend you, even now, even though we are listening to satsanga, moment the kama vasana comes, every satsang vanishes away. So then what do? We again try to be away from it. We try to be away from it. So what is happening? This is called tanu karana of vasana. Again, prasupta, Tanu, Vichinna, and Udara. These are the 4 states of Vasana. We have studied it in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Udara is what is happening to us. It is violently expressed, Vasana. Prasupta is only for the yogi. And Tanu Karana is Shithili Karana. You reduce the grip of Vasana by doing what? Acting a bit against it. Bit by bit, bit by bit. Why bit by bit? Because it has accumulated bit by bit over number of births. So by bit, you will be reducing it also over the coming births. This is what the sadhana or the natural progression is, unless you receive the grace from Guru or God that you hasten the whole process faster. Hari Om.
Okay, thank you. That is clear.
Do we have time for a question? Can I ask?
Yes, please.
Namaskar, Dr. Sir.
Namaskar.
There is no denial that plants have life, and it is also proven that they have zani.
Yes.
Hence, they respond to stimulus.
Yes.
But the fact is that there is no antakaran, and hence probably there is no karta present, and hence no karma happens. Now, if we have to draw the same analogy to us, in our case, if the karta goes missing or it is replaced with Bhagwanta, then the entire karma lead, goes to the nami or the nam, and hence we are free from the response that the papa or the punya karma. Is this understanding correct?
Absolutely correct. When the antakarna is replaced by the Bhagavanta, or you become an absolute punyatma, then as a Rishi, it is not called karma, it is called krida. And when it becomes completely antakaran, becomes Bhagavanta antakarana, then it is not called karma, it is called lila. A karma done by Bhagavanta is lila. A karma done by Rishi Muni is krida. And when it is done by humans like us, it is karma. So antakarana, dushit antakarana vritti is karma. Sushobhita, shuddha antakarana is krida. And prayojana viharehita karma is lila. Hari Om.